Buonasera, my name is Martina Frullanti. I am from Italy. I am a death educator, End of Life Doula, and author of Do You Speak Amore? I am very, very glad to share with you today the journey that led me to become who I am. From a life to a death education project. Writing about life, love, trust, and relationships. Writing about death, fear, loss, and grief. To live and die with dignity. There is not one big cosmic meaning for all. There is only the meaning we each give to our life, an individual meaning, an individual plot, like an individual novel, a book for each person. Each one of us has a story to share. This is mine. Do You Speak Amore is a journey journal that have been born within my silence, paper, pen, and a list of 500 positive words. I shall thank immensely Joe and Victoria for creating such a precious event. Lifting the Lid is a multicultural and multidisciplinary expression of the sacredness of the end of life, with the beauty of a community and the power of love, with death as a teacher to all of us. Here, now, and beyond. Lifting the Lid is a surprising virtual hug, connecting us around the world and embracing us, empowering us with grace, humanity, compassion, support, blessings, strength, and courage. All I needed when the journey that led me to become a doula began, but yet I had no clue. Almost 10 years ago, during the illness of people whom I loved very, very much, I found myself through unknown places without knowing what to do, what to say, and where to go. All I needed was information, practical and spiritual support. All I had was my dearest auntie and my sweetest grandmother at the end of their life, while life was happening, as all around me and them was happening, without a meaning anymore, without a way, but the final journey we will all have to depart for. A journey that we never talk about, never plan, and never embrace. A journey that has led us all here today. I grew up in a small medieval town in Italy. I've been in hospitality and wine business since I was 18. I took my bachelor degree in international communication and traveled from the United States to Japan to master my Japanese language. I served meals, glasses of wines, took people around, made plans for the holidays, welcomed VIPs into luxurious hotels. I've been blessed to be working with people, to meet people's needs and fulfill their expectations. My work became my way of living, my only way of living. Until 2015, when I decided to depart again, this time for Africa, for another journey. I had no clue it would have taken me so far and here with you today. In 2017, I came back with a journey journal that had been born within my silence with pen, paper, and a list of 500 positive words. I wanted to share the best memories of a lifetime around the world, celebrating my 40th birthday. I needed to find a way, another way. Words, through the autobiographic writing, led me into another journey, the journey of transformation, of the sense of life and death, deeply being into the elaboration of mourning. with a profound consciousness of the finitude of the gift of life. Do You Speak Amore is a hymn to freedom, an auroboric love story that embodies the value I most believe in, the ability to relate, to take care of oneself and of others. Do You Speak Amore led me to become who I am. Writing heals silently. So I followed my desire and changed my life again. In 2019, I earned my master in death studies and the end of life at Padua University to discover how we face death in Italy and around the world. In the course of my studies, I discovered that the professional figure that embodies my desire to offer presence, company, education, and resources for the end of life is called End of Life Doula. I was inspired by Henry Frescovi's book, Caring for the Dying, a doula approach to a meaningful death, to write my first project, spread awareness on palliative care, and bring a new holistic approach, a new professional figure here in Italy, the End of Life Doula. My wishes to accompany to the end of life for life. My wishes for 2020 were to move forward in my education and fly back to the United States to take an end-of-life doula training. But in the meantime, I began volunteering for a no-profit organization here in my hometown, taking charge of social media communication and organization of crowdfunding events. My first step into the palliative care world revealed a sense of generosity, compassion, solidarity, humanity, support, and companionship. A deep meaning to life, taking care of oneself and of others. But pandemic began after a couple of months, and after I launched a crowdfunding campaign to receive supports and fly back to the United States. So I searched online for doulas communities. I took part in many webinars late at night, and with the encouragement received, I took my the dying year end of life certificate and obtained the NIDA badge, National End of Life Doula Alliance, that supports the role of the end of life doula in the United States. The essence of the holistic approach of the end of life doula is to give non-medical support and help to people and families during a time of critical and transformative change in life, time for welcoming, time of opportunity and growth. An end-of-life doula accompanies towards new horizons during the months, weeks, and last days of life. An end-of-life doula is a professional who takes care, informs, conducts, guides, offers her presence, company, support to physical, psychological, social, and spiritual needs of those who are departing for the last journey and of those who remain. An end-of-life doula enhances and encourages. The support of the end-of-life doula is focused on and aimed to the needs of each family served. She is present at the collection of information to make conscious choices that respect them and the dignity and quality of life until the end. Last November, I was honored to share here at Lifting the Lid for the first time in public, Education to Feel, my death education project based on the power of writing and relationship to promote the holistic approach of the end of life doula. A time, a way, a space to feel life, to feel the most mysterious experience of life, to give voice to emotions, memories, wishes, and values, concentrating on legacy projects, to make a mark and last goodbye rituals to celebrate love. Since last year, I kept writing about life, love, trust, and relationships, writing about death, fear, loss, and grief, while living, transforming, processing, and elaborating. I believe that in Italy, people are not open to approach death consciously and directly. Almost nobody knows that palliative care is a crucial part of people-centered health services, relieving serious health problems, being physical, psychological, social, or spiritual. Almost nobody knows that palliative care is a global ethical responsibility. We need to share information and resources. We need to bring clarity about laws and procedures that in Italy allow since 2010 to live and die with dignity. Death education is a way to promote the quality of life for oneself and for others. Death education helps to create societies that are positive, empathetic, reciprocate, and acknowledge that dying is as natural as being born. Death education facilitates the comprehension of life and death as a continuum, as a neuroboric love story. To put into practice my death studies, I wish to share Education to Feel as a death education project that opens conversation about the end of life and brings humanity to navigate through times of solitude, sense of belonging, comprehension, acceptance, listening, self-esteem, and spirituality. Education to Feel is an invitation to a reflective journey to discover and create the sense of life and death through the power of writing. Education to Feel is a collection of exercises aimed at taking out from the Latin verb educere and orientate your senses to know what to say, what to do, and where to go until the end. There is a universal phenomenon that everyone faces when giving sense to their life, striving for emotional resolution, and we all need to talk about it. It's called life review. Life review helps to identify points of meaning, important issues of legacy, unresolved issues of the past, such as guilt or remorse or unfulfilled ambitions. Life review helps to make a connection with those who are living and passing on their life story, experience, and wisdom. Life review can be a validation of the life that has been lived and can be a goodbye ritual for family members, friends, and beloved ones. Life review can be a life-affirming experience. The physical manifestation of life review is called legacy work, consisting of creating on focusing on what one is leaving behind for others, on people's hearts. It could be a collection of recipes, a poem, a video, a song, a book. To understand life, people tell stories. And life is what led me to be Nina. Life is what led me to be of service until the end. Death taught me to cherish the magical gift of life. Since I was back from Africa, I've been feeling that Nina is who I am and who I wish I could have met to know what to do, what to say, and where to go until the end. It has been a miraculous series of encounters, meetings, blessings, synchronicities, experiences. In June, in my hometown, I completed the volunteering palliative care course, and since October, I'm close to the bedside of the dying ones. The most profound gesture of love I received during the last years, the most intimate, delicate, touching, and transformative silence. The deepest and most sacred journey. A journey to embrace and to feel with compassion, strength, courage, tenderness, and trust. A journey to honor until the end and beyond. A journey to share. And this is another journey to share. In June, at the market, I met Alfiero, a 91 years old man who revealed me his miraculous wish. He wanted to publish his book, the story of his life, 50 years driving a taxi in Rome. So since June, we've been together once a week at the market, reading and writing his manuscript in front of a coffee, a glass of wine, a warm meal. We've been through gardens, through envelopes filled with black and white pictures, old notebook dated 1988. And his wish came true, and mine did too. We will publish his book before Christmas and organize a presentation to share a message of hope and celebrate life. I trust this will be the first of many others' contribution as Nina, being of service at the end of life, giving voice to memories, emotions, values, and wishes, concentrating on legacy works, to make a mark and last goodbye rituals, to celebrate love.
Smile without a reason why. Love as if you were a child. Smile no matter what they tell you. Don't listen to a word they say, 'cause life is beautiful that way. Tears, a tidal wave of tears. Light that slowly disappears. Wait before you close the curtain. There's still another game to play, and life is beautiful that way. With his eyes forevermore, I will always be as close as you remember from before. Now that you're out there on your own, remember what is real and what we dream is love alone. Keep the laughter in your eyes. Soon your long-awaited prize we'll forget about our sorrow and think about a brighter day, 'cause life is beautiful that way. We'll forget about our sorrow and think about a brighter day, 'cause life is
Mi
beautiful.
prendevano pure in giro perché tutto questo lo scrivevo mentre camminavo, mentre c'avevo il cliente. Mi montava questa folla di lienzo e mi diceva: mi porti a Piazza dei 500. Io al semaforo segnavo dove andavo e chi era, e poi alla fine vedi.
Smile without a reason why. Love as if you were a child. Smile no matter what they tell you. Don't listen to a word they say, 'cause life is beautiful that way. Tears, a tidal wave of tears. Light that slowly disappears. Wait before you close the curtain. There's still another game to play, and life is beautiful that way. I will always be as close as you remember from before. Now that you're out there on your own, remember what is real and what we dream is love alone. Keep the laughter in your eyes. Soon your long-awaited prize we'll forget about our sorrow and think about a brighter day, 'cause life is beautiful that way.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for having me been here. Thank you, thank you. So I guess, Victoria, if anybody would like to ask any questions or jump in, here you are.
Hello. That was beautiful. There's such wonderful pictures.
Yeah, I get emotion,
I can see.
It's impressive. It has been really miraculous. Everything this year, that's since last year, you remember, I introduced a glimpse of the whole project.
Yeah.
It's been taking shape miraculously, truly. And
Ross is saying wonderful memories. Yes, wonderful memories.
Yes, and besides the deepest, I must say, sacred journey being close to the bedside of the dying ones, I have both, life in both expressions. So, during the week, twice I go to the hospice, and then once I meet Alfiero, and his wish was to publish this book. So I said, okay, we'll do it by Christmas, and I'm doing my best, truly. And these pictures, I took them, randomly, selfies with this
so nice
old man, and
just really full of joy. Ross is saying, tell us a bit about your book. Do you speak Amore?
Okay, well, Do You Speak Amore is an autobiography. I would say, when I did present it in 2018, when I self-published it, I would introduce it like the journey of my life, the journey of my best memories around the world, to truly leave a mark, but mostly to connect with everybody, to thank everybody, to show, America, Japan, and all the countries I've been lucky to be going through, to my family mainly, and to the rest of all my friends around the world. Then this journey truly became something else, and I've been living it, that's processing it, that's, it's a journey that took me so far, truly, because especially in doing the master, I properly realized that writing could be a way to elaborate your grief, to give truly to give a voice to your emotions. So Do You Speak Amore is like an expression of what one could do and could go through with the power of writing, giving sense to their life. And it's a, it's a little book. My dad told me, "Are you sure that you wrote everything that you went through in your life?" In that moment when you write, you have your reasons. So it took shape in that way, and it's an upside down. You can read it from both sides. Italian, unfortunately, not in English, because I couldn't find a way to self-publish it that way. But the way that you turn it and you begin from the end, it's my Ouroboros journey. so that I was truly in a very, very deep and sad moment of my life after death, you know, we all know. And I began writing and writing and writing. And I call it You Speak Amore because in the meantime I could speak somehow, you know, a couple of languages. And I had this, you know, idea of saying at the end, that is the beginning, you don't really need to speak so many languages, right? Like the
So
I got this amore, you know, in Italian, amore is what they mean, truly.
I was going to say, did you want to still be sharing your screen? Are you sharing? Because then you could be larger on the screen. If you stop sharing, then you can.
Okay, I can do that. I'm
It
sorry.
may just make it easier for people if you just.
See. Yes.
Yeah, that's nice.
It's good. All these technical things.
I know. I'm going to pin you as well.
Like at the beginning, I didn't press play, so it didn't go straight.
Oh, it didn't. It was fine. No, we just thought you were just taking your time. It looked fine. Barbara's saying, thanks, Martina, for showing us the importance of legacy work, a way to look back and find a new sense to our life.
Grazie, Barbara. And I should thank again you, everybody, and you that you're there. I'm sure that each one of us is creating something precious, you know. And already being here at this festival, try to spread the word around, is a gesture of love that we do to ourselves. This is what I believe in.
Okay.
Love yourself. You share it.
So Ross is saying it's really beautiful, and he said, "Do you mean the book is? Sorry, do you mean that the book is sort of entitled? I'm sorry, it's sort of entitled. Do you speak the language of Amore? So is it sort of? Is that
somehow it could be? Yes,
version.
like language, you know, like amore. Yeah. Not the amore, you know, it's between only two people, you know, the immensity of
course, yeah. And lovely Mariana's saying you're amazing. Thank you for sharing your journey with us. Oh,
thank you.
Thank you. I mean, if anyone's got any other questions, just or I suppose maybe if they've got any questions about their sort of experience of writing, I don't know if that would be relevant to, you know, if they wanted how writing's affected them as well.
Yes, that could be. If anybody would like to join us.
Yeah, if anyone wants to come on screen, if just
Barbara would like to join on screen, I guess it would be before to chat.
Maybe, before, maybe now. Oh, and Ross is saying, how long have you worked as a doula?
Oh, thank you for asking me that question, because I took the dying year end of life training in 2020 during pandemic. Then it took me 1 year to go for the NIDA proficiency badge. That means that, you know, to I would say to pass this massive exam while working, you know, still trying to get back into track. I did study a lot, and it was pretty difficult, besides for the English language, for the laws, you know, the procedures concerning United States. So at the end, I obtained the NIDA badge that allowed me to say I'm an End of Life Doula certified last October, so last year. Fantastic. And this is the journey that I wanted to share with you, because then after a month, I was lifting the lead, introducing the project that I've been writing for the last 3 years. And then I would love to express this. It's a bit complicated, but I hope that I share the message, because here in Italy, the word End of Life Doula is unknown.
Okay.
There is a big, I would say, important, I wouldn't call it cultural, you know, change, but we truly need to give the right, you know, to bring clarity on the role that the End of Life Doula is, because we do have a very important volunteering, you know, part. I mean, there's a big part of our society that, thanks to the volunteering work, can go, you know, can face death actually, because when there is not the help of the health system, you know, of our national health service, volunteer jump in, you know, I collaborate. So a doula here is who does volunteering. You know, I am blessed to be in this no-profit organization here in my hometown, and the president is 80 years old.
Okay.
I always tell that you are a doula, but you don't know. So I feel I am a doula, besides being, you know, on the volunteering side, and I wish and I feel that I am a doula, but I don't call myself doula.
Okay.
I feel I am a doula with Alfiero.
So is that, when you said that it's not doula in Italy, is it just that people are not, is it the word that people don't really use, or do they? Yeah.
I would say that there is no word to define, you know, because there are the spiritual assistants, you know, that are officially part of the palliative care equipe. There is a lot of training and a lot of courses that you can, you know, go for and obtain your certification. But when it comes to properly, you know, asking for help, I would say that, just to give you an idea, it's just for maybe the last 10 years that the doula of birth, the birth doula, are part of our society. So somehow what I would love to share with Barbara, you know, with all the people, with all the colleagues, with friends, with many, many people involved in palliative care world here. This is what I would like to share, that somehow I respect being a volunteer, but I also believe that there is a big need, and there is I would say a big gap, you know, a void to be filled with people as I feel that could be there to support you. Respecting, you know, that's why the essence is non-medical, because that's respecting all the professional figures.
Oh, definitely.
But I do feel I am a doula. Lately, when people ask me, who are you, you know, what you do, I say I am a doula. And people go like, so a doula? You explain, and then I hope that slowly this, I would say this figure, but mostly this role, you know, I don't like labeling, but I believe that people should know that, especially overseas, and this is thanks to you, you know, thanks to UK, US, there is a big movement. I mean, France, Spain, Germany, South Africa, Australia, all over, there has been a big movement towards being close to each other in such a...
And is in Italy, and this might be me generalize it, but it is because Italy I always think of as very family orientated. I mean, I know not everywhere, but so is it embraced by people to let someone that's not part of the family in to care for their...
It is, and I could tell you personally, from my experience, when I walked in at this patient's home, you know, because he was at the hospice, and then he's home now. You step into somebody's house and you are not part of the family, that's sure very welcomed. If you're a volunteer, if you're there to support, just to, you know, bring a flower or just a hug. Family is very important, but that's something that is changing as well in Italy. And the community, if you follow a bit what's going on, especially these last days, there has been a big meeting of the Italian Association of Palliative Care. We need to get back to our communities. You know, we lost all the rituals, all the traditions. Like, for sure, you have the image of Italy with the family.
I mean, it's
you know, or bring help and come with you, or, you know, long funerals. It has been changing. But I believe that mostly, I mean, the step before is truly that it's very difficult to be open, to talk openly about, until the point that you face it. Unfortunately, that point sometimes is too late, because it's a huge word that people truly do not know, or if they do know, they know when they need it. And I'm talking on my experience, you know, because when my auntie fell sick and she was ill of a terrible cancer that took her away in less than a year, I didn't know anything about it. I didn't even know that there was this association that now I'm part of, that could give us comfort, any kind of comfort, you know, being physical, anything, even a call. That's
Yeah.
what I do. Sometimes I receive a call and you listen.
Mm.
And maybe with just one word, you can open other words.
Mm. Yeah, because sometimes I think sometimes it's hard for people to talk to their family, and maybe it's easier to speak to someone because a doula would also, this is how I imagine it would because sometimes people don't want to worry that the person that's dying doesn't want to show that they're afraid or anything to the person, their sort of relatives. So maybe do you get some of that where you have those conversations and you work out how they may speak to their
Yes,
people?
I mean, mostly, what I went through is this question: are you a psychologist?
No, not at all. No.
Like when you introduce yourself, somehow the idea, going through illness,
Oh, I see. There's only you. That's
time of need, somehow you think of a doctor, or you
yeah. I see what you mean.
psychologist, or you think of it's proper like a mindset thing.
Yeah.
You wouldn't look for a doula.
Mm.
But hopefully, and I thank everybody again to spread the word, and it's what I feel I've been able to cherish this last year, and I hope that I pass the message with this presentation, because it's thanks to caring that it happens. And I've been impressed because once you receive a phone call saying, would you think that you could meet and maybe talk to, so that maybe you can give an idea? And I'm going through again for myself, you never stop. It's a continuum, because you find yourself that's somehow now I feel I have these tools. What I wrote is that I had no words and no tools to face death. Now I feel I do. I mean, not like we never learning, right? But somehow I feel I could be there.
Yeah. Mariana said, we were common in the past. Sorry, we were common in the past with different names, but we're coming back now. Doula is just another name taken from Greece for what we're doing and have been doing for ages. And amicus mortis.
Bella, grazie Mariana. And this takes me back to Italy, because being a doula means being a woman. Or men. I know that there are some doulas that are also men, but the reflection, the whole mothering. Are you say mothering? Like being a mother is from birth to death. And I could recall my grandma, because as you said, in Italy, funerals were like a family thing. You would be at the vigil for 3 days, 4 days. Now again, it's fast, it's quick.
Okay.
And it's taken away from your sight. So thank you, Mariana. That's a beautiful way of saying you're coming back. Because we're always, I believe that's the point. I believe that's how I felt like for myself. Nina is this name that was given for my 40th birthday by a little child, that couldn't pronounce my name. And when he gave me that name, I truly felt like that was who I am. So being of service means that you really feel it and you have it in your heart. If you wish to share it, you must have it. You must feel it. And that's why education to feel, because this Latin verb educere, educazione, is taking out, so that you can take out by yourself from yourself. It's not that I teach you how to write or answer to my writing exercises. It's a kind of guidance on my experience to share.
It's beautiful. Nice. And actually, Ross was saying before that I think this was to do with the not having the name doula. It says I think it's the same in Peru, where I originally came from. Yeah, there's no such rule as doula in Peru.
Wow, in Peru. Well, and also Peru teaches us, with the ancestors, with all the roots, with all the traditions, all South America, but everywhere you will go, for sure. And that's why I was a little bit, I wouldn't say worried, but concerned about this whole journey, because while studying, I discovered the End of Life Doula, proper the word, End of Life Doula. There's sometimes when people ask me, why you don't call yourself Death Doula? Again, because if you translate it in Italian, it doesn't even give the same value and power to the word. In Italian would be Doula della fine della vita, proper like of the end of life, but according to it, it's not the end. So I would rather make it short to be Doula.
Yeah.
Doula. And then if people are curious and wish to find out, and they ask me questions, I try to softly introduce what a doula. But there is, a lot of respect on my side for everything that is happening out there, because there are many, many people who have been teaching me and doing this for many years in different approaches, being, at the hospital, at the hospice, or colleagues, psychologists. But at the same time, I feel that we should, be on action, as, do something, not only talk about it, bring people together and spread their word. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to create.
Have you been from someone to the very end of their life? Now, have you been?
I am close now to this amazing man.
Yeah.
That was for a month in the hospice, and now he's at home.
Oh.
So this is my first experience.
Yeah.
The end of life, and it's a very, very miraculous and very touching, very transformative, very deep. The last time I sat in front of him 2 hours in silence, and every time you feel you never want to go. And that's the most powerful time, because when you step in, you see his face, and you are there. You stay there. You can't. It's another time, and it's another space, because time goes in another dimension, and the space is another one, because it's the space of the end of life that is your end of life. It's both. It's very, 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 very powerful. I'm going through now, actually, through this, and I am. I'm blessed. It's a very rich journey, very miraculous, very touching, very, I would say, very. I'm impressed.
So for people, just in case people don't, I think most people here probably know what it involves if you were to have a sort of a death, sort of end of life doula. Do you meet with the family? Do you meet with the person and then see what their needs are, or what do you do?
Usually this is like, for instance, with the experience of Alfiero, we just met. I'll give you the experience of Alfiero and like an example, but this is how we should be. You either meet somebody that needs help, or you meet the family of somebody that needs help. And then, with Alfiero, with another super kind woman, have been close, her in charge of a mother. And what you do, you talk, at first you're allowed to talk, you're allowed to express what they need, if they know what they need. So then your approach and your role is, besides offering your presence, is also to somehow articulate, or get a little bit more deeper into what they might truly need.
Some of it quite practical, and some of it will be
super practical. Because, for instance, with Alfiero, he revealed me. I met this old man at the market. I was waiting for my next turn, and I said, "Who's the last one? Queuing? Italian market." And this man couldn't hear me, so some people told me, "I think it's Alfiero," but he couldn't hear you. So then we met, we said, oh, buongiorno, buongiorno. And these people told me, Alfiero, you don't know Alfiero, he has an amazing story. You know, he has been a taxi driver in Rome for 50 years. And so, you know, I took the chance to say, I would be happy to meet you again, and I would love to hear your story. And from that time, the first thing he told me, he said, look, this is what I need. I need somebody to publish my book.
Okay, yeah.
And when he told me that need, I said, this is the End of Life Doula job when it comes to legacy.
I see.
The End of Life Doula could be in every small little moment of the end of life, before we planning, before we reflection through the journeys, you know, writing your stories, at the end, until the end, at the end, of course, you know, it depends when you meet. But with Alfiero, then what happened is that discovering his journey and writing and reading, and, you know, you meet once a week, a relationship is established. I understood that he had other needs. So that's what became the practicality also of being an end of life doula, because maybe you make a phone call, you call a colleague, and you try to find, you know, something that could be of help. In this case, I've been trying to help him on the side of all these social help.
Okay, yeah. That
Pandemic.
benefits money and things, and yeah.
But then, for instance, another super kind lady asked me what she could do for her mother, that, you know, she cannot help anymore at home. So then you are in the world of palliative care, and you know that, you know, she could call this person, she could ask for an appointment there. So practically, I feel a lot of sharing information. This is my wish.
Yeah.
I wish to be an end of life doula volunteering, because I believe that this is a service that for sure, if we could be paid in Italy, I'd be, you know,
of course.
But I believe that as a doula, I feel very much more to give education, to share education, to bring resources, hopefully to open my first death cafe, you know, to meet people in different associations, maybe, you know, to gather even with friends, but that's the most difficult one.
So do you want to actually open a death cafe in person?
Well, I would love to do it. I would love to do it personally, because I've been waiting. I didn't want to do it an online one.
Yeah.
Because I think, you know, you hug, and you know how we
are.
You know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, it's nice. Yeah.
You truly have a coffee. You can, you know.
Yeah, it is better. Yeah.
But hopefully, yeah. But as soon as I manage to publish Alfiero's book, that is going to I'll focus on creating time and space to open education to fill to the public, definitely.
Exactly. Mariana's saying a person of service who is highly important in compassionate communities. She must be talking about you.
Yeah. And that's another word, compassionate communities. You know, I follow what you guys do in UK. I was chatting with, you know, Mariana, thank you, about being, you know, in compassionate communities, involving, you know, sharing. And sometimes I feel very sorry for Italy to be so far behind. But there's time.
Yeah.
There's time, and I could be like, you know, like planting my little seed. And
also, if you weren't doing what you're doing, then that would be one less person. Do you know what I mean? They need you there to help.
And that's exactly, and that's the answer to my father. He said, "Why don't you leave again?" He said, "You know, what are you doing here?" I said, "No, this time I'm not departing anymore.
Yeah.
The journeys that I go for are here now."
And Sarah B saying, exchanging air and seeing full expression through body language is also so meaningful and lovely when communing together.
Yes, exactly. Especially being Italian, you know, we all move and gesture. Even now, I'm trying to, you know, keep my hands.
Sit on your hands.
But you know, this is what we missed. Didn't we miss it so much? You know, to hug and to just put your hand on your shoulder or touch the feet, or, you know, just.
Is it still quite, since the pandemic in Italy? Is it still? Can you not really?
No, now it's slowly getting back
Same as here, I suppose.
to wear masks, of course, in the hospice and everything.
Yes, yeah.
You know, the green pass, how we call it, but then slowly, yeah, it's unfortunately still one person can go visit per day,
Okay.
per night, but it's not like it was until.
No. If anyone else wants to come on, did you say you know? I know you know Mariana, but there's other people.
Yes, let me see if I can find a spec. And let me see. You said I can
go to the people, then you just get the list of the people.
People, Mariana, Helen. C'è anche Ludovica, fantastico, Barbara. I knew that it was you. Ludovica is a volunteer with me in my association here. I mean, the association that we both volunteer for is the same. She's a new entry, and I'm impressed. Thank you, Ludovica, for being there.
If anyone wants to come on and talk, I don't want to pressurize people, but.
See, I would have loved if Barbara would love to jump in.
Yeah, I mean, I think you just maybe pressed the button too early, but if you just press the share audio and video, Barbara, that'd be amazing.
If you wish to come in.
Oh yeah, hold on, here we go. I think this might be, yes. It sometimes takes a few seconds to the person to come on screen.
Grazie, Barbara.
Yeah, I'll just let her. Let's see. Here we go. Yeah.
Hi. Hi, Martina. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
I'm sorry, but I have my small one with me, so that's why I'm not able to talk too much or to interact. But I follow the whole session with a lot of gratitude for your words, Martina, and the feelings that you are able to express. So thank you very much for your work, especially for introducing and to be a pioneer in Italy for this figure that we know that is the Palliative Care.
And if you allow me, Barbara, if you allow me, I wanted to, share this with you on Lifting the Lid. If you allow me, or if you want to go ahead, I'll be happy if you want to share, why we met and how we met.
That'd be lovely to hear.
We have a couple of minutes, and I would be honored if you would like to. Beautiful lady here.
Yeah, I'm not sure that I can finish, but anyway, you can finish if I will be interrupted.
You have to go.
We met because of this master that we both attended. Me and Martina, she attended it in 2019, and I just finished it this year. And we wanted to discover and to go on further on this figure of the End of Life Doula in Italy. So we made a research on that, and we also interviewed Martina because she is the first Italian End of Life Doula, and so that's why we met, and we are now trying to understand the way to spread this. I'm sorry.
That's all right. Don't worry. It's fine.
to spread the knowledge, but it's not also the knowledge, but to find a way to that education, because we know that it's the biggest taboo, that talking about death, as Martina said, until it's not the time. When it's the time, it's too late, and so that's how we met, and we have many projects that we would like to start together. So we will always be so grateful to Martina, because being the first one is a really difficult job.
That's so
But
nice.
you know, Victoria and everybody, this is the gift, Barbara. I mean, besides being a lift in the lead for the second time and sharing my journey, this is another beautiful gift. So I heard that there was a group of researchers, you know, the students of the master, we all do research. And I heard this news that a group would continue my research on the end of life doula. And so I said, I'm gonna be there when they, you know, when you are at the end of the master, then you introduce your project. So I said, I'm going to back to Padova, and it was like I can feel it now, you know. It was my first journey after pandemic from Siena to Padova. That is only like 3 hours journey, but it felt like it was another one of those long journeys, you know, after pandemic, mostly to hug, to meet Barbara and the rest of the group. They have done an amazing job. They've been truly focusing and writing like a beautiful project. And from that's how we are starting, and we are trying to create our dream, I would say, right, Barbara? Because every time we meet, we explode with ideas. And
yeah.
Clear that I alone, and that's the most beautiful thing, because I've never felt alone like being Nina.
What's your mama? What's your mama?
I feel like, you know, the together. Gosh, I thank Barbara for, you know, for being here and in front of me at the festival. This is again an expression of taking care. You see, that's what I believe. Taking care, sharing, and believing. You know, that's what led me here. I was in another world, and because of that, this is where we are. And this is what I'm blessed for. I'm full and taken away by that.
That's beautiful. Oh, thank you for coming on screen.
Grazie, Vale.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Grazie.
And Sarah's saying, is Italy as death negative as North American culture? Because apparently it's difficult to say.
Yes, I was thinking, excuse me for my fashion expression, that I mostly for sure was like, how is it in
what way? I mean, Sarah, if you wanted to come on screen, you could maybe explain or put in the chat how, you know, how you've experienced negative death culture, and see if it's compare it to in Italy.
Negative, like, if you mean, I can go ahead. If you mean negative, like that is the end of everything.
No, like they don't want to talk about it. I think it's like just not wanting death negative.
Yes, okay. So of course, mostly because Italia is a country that reflects so many old traditions and cultures. You know, the classic way of saying, if you talk about death, then you're going to die. Or I could tell you my experience when I say, at the beginning, I would say, I am involved in palliative care. But palliative care people do not know, or if they do know, think of palliative as euthanasia.
As a what? Say that last part.
Euthanasia, you know, like the end of life.
Oh yes, yeah.
Right. So then I said, okay, maybe it's not the right word to say that I'm in palliative care. So I started saying I'm a volunteer and I try to be close to the people accompanying to the end of life. But then people wonder, what do you do to accompany? But the whole thing of death as negative is proper, like the whole meaning of death.
They also don't think it probably is a journey. They think it's just something that happens at the end.
At the end, exactly. Yes, and that's mostly it's because of that, the negativity of that. Yeah. Like, why you want to do that? You know, how you do it? How can you do it? Yeah. And to me, it's most of us attempt to also share this, you know, invitation. Instead of thinking of death, you think of life. You know, instead of using a word like death education. Of course, it's called death education. You know, of course, it must be. It's because of death studies. It's because
it's linked to life. That's why. Yeah.
it's life, and
That's why you've got life to a death education. Yeah, so
and that's why it's education. You know, like it's life, like in the continuum. Respecting truly what gave me, you know, the inspiration, the book of every frescovice from birth to death. That's the journey.
Yeah. There's a couple of questions. Actually, Sarah just was saying, yeah, so sorry, I've experienced it as if death almost doesn't exist. We push it away as much as possible. Is that what?
Yes.
That's what happens in.
Most definitely. Besides, you know, older generations, that could be, you know, grandfathers or even, you know, my family. Then it depends. It depends on the society, but mostly, I could say that maybe for what has been happening, there is a big change now between the young, you know, the young generation in the whole world, and now they are opening to life in another approach with another, you know, view. But mostly that's gonna be. I believe that's gonna take a long time to be talking like we do. You know,
of course. Yeah, it's easy for us when we're in these type of festivals to forget how difficult other people find it.
Exactly. And sometimes it's difficult also when you face people and you start talking and then you think, oh man, but they don't know anything. No, does it happen to you? You know?
Yeah, some people sometimes aren't quite ready, are they? So you just
or maybe you start rambling and you start off with your, you know, telling stories and everything, but then people don't even wanna.
Yeah, I think you just have to like do it layered by layer, don't you, to try and see how much people want to talk about it, and sometimes it's nothing. But Bridget's just saying, can you explain the difference between palliative care and a doula? So
Wow. Allora, palliative care is, well, it depends on which country, right? Because different countries have different regulation, but mostly palliative care is a crucial part of a health system. So palliative care means that at the end of life, when there is a degenerative illness, like when there is no more hope for life, for the quality and dignity, you know, like could it be a cancer or could it be any other degenerative illnesses? The treatments that the health system will give you, like the medical treatments that are the vital treatments, that could be hydration, you know, nutrition, all the treatments that they keep you alive will not be working anymore. That's when palliative care comes along. It's not that you choose palliative care and you don't get your treatments anymore. They could go belong, you know,
side by side.
Side by side, exactly. But mostly the palliative care approach is like a hug of a total, of a global response to the people, but the patient and the family needs, you know, so that you embrace the totality that is the physical, but also the psychological. You have a spiritual support, you have a physiotherapist, you have a nutrition. So there is a whole equipe that does take care of somebody who chooses to be, you know, embraced by palliative. And it depends on which country you are, because, for instance,
I'm from Belgium. I don't know if that helps. Yeah.
In the States, they call it hospice care. Here in Europe, we have palliative care. It depends on countries, but for instance, in Italy, it's from 2010 that it became a law, it became a right, and it's free. So when you are in the hospital, either, you know, for sure your family, your friend, somebody could ask for a free palliative consultation. So that the palliative doctor will come, check, of course, you know, together with the main, it could be oncologist or it could be the specialist of, in that case, disease, and gives you the chance to be taken care by palliative care. The End of Life Doula, instead, I mean, besides in Italy, in general, is a professional who does take care, being volunteer or being paid, of all the rest. The doula doesn't give a medical support. The doula could be there to help you doing your advanced directive. The doula could give you a telephone number. It could give you the local resources. It could do, you know, it could give you respite care if you need somebody, you know, that you need some time off. It could be somehow in a very, very thought global response of the needs of the people. And then, of course, it could go along, it could go side by side. For instance, in the States, thanks to also NIDA, you know, this National End of Life Doula Alliance, that they define the training, I mean, the knowledge that you must have to be saying, I am an end of life doula. The doula go into the hospice. So the end of life doula is part of the hospice equipe, or can go in and be somehow recognized as somebody.
Yeah. It should be part of the palliative care. It should just be.
It should be somehow. That's the point. In Italy, somehow she is already like, if you say an end of life doula now in Italy is Nina, as you know, like I feel with the name of, like with the whole cultural, I would say, change that we need to bring. But mostly all the volunteers in palliative care are doula because they're trained to be a volunteer in palliative care in every country, I believe. And like in Italy, you must do a training course. And of course, you must go through experience.
But is there paid? I know it's not just about, but in the palliative care, obviously that's paid. I mean, that's, how does that work?
If you're a volunteer in palliative care, you're a volunteer.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
You can get, you know, the reimbursement for your driving far, you know, like the association.
Yeah.
But yet it's not a job.
Yeah, it's interesting because you put I mean, it's the same here. Everything gets put, so much money gets put into sort of birth, doesn't it?
Esatto, and that's my dream.
Yeah.
To follow, you know, the beautiful inspiration of the doula, of the birth doula here in Italy. How the association was born thanks to a dearest friend, actually, and somehow, bring together. And actually, this could be a call for all the people in Italy or all over. If you know anybody in Italy that is involved or would like to, or is already taking care of the end of life as a doula, please, you know, contact me and let's get together. Because Barbara said that I am a pioneer. Somehow I wish, somehow I feel I am, and I wish I could be for everybody. But I wish that we could all get together, you know, to make it happen.
I was going to put, because obviously you've got like there's a booth, the expo booth, which has got information about you, and people can contact you that way. I'm just going to try and I should, if I can just put the link directly in the chat, then once people have finished here, they can go directly to your link. Let me just find that. Here we go. So I'm just going to copy the link and put it in there, and then it just means that people can just go straight there and find out about you. Here we go. Sorry.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody, especially for these magnificent questions. That's what I was, you know, dreaming of, you know, to get
some people
to ask questions.
Yeah, it's nice. I mean, people are very interested. Yeah. And that's okay. And yeah, I mean, if anyone had anything else, we're sort of coming to the, what time are we? Like 10 past?
10 past.
Yeah.
Grazie immensely. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And just to obviously the festival's all free and everything, but if anyone does want to donate anything, there is a GoFundMe link at the tab at the top on the right hand side. But
please do because this was miraculous. It's amazing. And it's gorgeous that you can watch, you know, the registration here.
Yeah.
So invite everybody, you know, and contribute, because already being here is a big gesture of love.
Thank you, and thank you, Mariana, as well, for all you do and all your support. Mariana's saying thank you. Well, thank you, and do get it, because if anyone wants to ask anything else, they can email you.
You have messaged
that your niece.
I didn't check. Amore mio bello.
I'm proud of my beautiful auntie. You're an inspiration for me. Oh, that's so nice. She's a very inspiration for lots of people. You're very lucky to have her as such a wonderful auntie. So I'm going to set you off again. Thank you. Anyway, thank you, everyone. And yeah, and we'll see you. We'll be in. Yeah.
I keep being
You're regular.
connected.
We'll see you every year.
Thank you everybody.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Take care.
A
Bye-bye.
presto, grazie.
Bye.
Ciao.